And welcome back to the Weekly Tech Rant. Well, with me, Jay.
And me, Karl.
Oh, what's it doing again?
It's all going wrong.
Do you know what? There are gremlins in this system. I've come to the conclusion we need probably a new hosting platform.
Quite
I had to
possibly.
set up, or I'm going to blame the heat because here in the UK we have summer has arrived and it's 28 degrees outside.
Something
and
like that. It's very hot in the office.
I was just going to say, in the recording studio here at the moment, I'll tell you what my current temperature is. It is 30.5 degrees Celsius, centigrade. None of this Fahrenheit rubbish, sorry.
Oh, blimey. Yeah, no, yeah. I'm 30.1. Yeah.
And I'm sweltering. I've got a fan on behind me. Hopefully it's not too loud. And I was just upstairs changing a shower pump in my bathroom. So I've sat in the bathroom, which is quite a warm room. I sat next to the hot water tank, which is, clues in the name, hot. So I was a little bit sweltering up there, I have to say. It was very, very warm. But yeah, summer has arrived, hasn't it? It's just all of a sudden crept up on us here, don't you think?
God, it has. Yeah. And the weekend's going to be even hotter.
Oh, don't. So how are you getting on with liquid glass then?
I must admit, I've not used it very much. I mean, I was travelling at the early part of the week. I did take it with me to plug into the TV and watch some movies in the evening, and that was about it. So, I opened it up, I fired up Plex, and yeah, that was it. I've not really done much of it at all. How about you?
Okay. Well, I have to say, I really like the iPad. iPad OS. The window management it's not perfect.
No, there's still some. There are gremlins. There are issues at the moment with it. Definitely,
but it works and it works well. And I like the Mac OS controls. I like the pointer looking like a mouse pointer and not some circle of doom.
I might vaguely click on it.
Yeah, do you know what? It's nice. It seems to be more responsive. It seems to be a little bit snappier. I like the transitions. I haven't played much around with the camera apps or the photo app, but the native controls seem to work well. I have to say, I'm not so far. I'm not playing on the phone. I've got it on my work phone, same as you have. I think isn't it spare phone. I've not really done much with it. I won't lie.
Okay.
It hasn't. I haven't got into masses of things with it. The one thing I will say is the haptic feedback. I think I told you about. I had to turn off because everything was haptic, which was really weird.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I think the liquid glass effect works nice. The overlay, especially on the main screen, looks pretty good.
Okay.
Look, it hasn't crashed. Touch wood. All the apps I want to use on the work phone are working. Yeah, I mean, look, I can't wait. The only thing I did on the iPad, I made the screen small. I made the screen smaller. That was what I did. I went into because I felt the fonts just looked really big, and I thought I'd gone down to the smallest. But I went in and there's a setting, like on Mac, where you can make it.
Yeah.
The icons smaller as well. That one wasn't selected. That has massively improved. It doesn't look like some kind of Fisher Price.
Yeah, no, I can't stand the big Fisher Price look of it.
No, I don't need my first tablet. Yeah, so look, so far so good. I listened to another podcast this morning, and who were talking about the betas as well, and they were mentioning about Tahoe macOS 26, and the consensus from these people was don't do it yet. It's not ready. There are some real interesting bugs. Some things just don't work properly. So I was like, you know what? Given that I'm on the Mac Mini now. I've got the MacBook Pro over there. And I just thought, you know what? Yeah, as much as neither of those machines is what I class as one I could afford to put a demo system in it. So,
no, exactly.
So I've stuck with it. So I think I'll wait. I might bite the bullet at public beta 1 or 2 or 3, depends.
Okay. Yeah. I was thinking probably 2 or 3 for my main phone.
Yeah, I think you're right on that one. I said to you before, Barclays Bank works. HSBC is the other one that we both have problems with, isn't it?
Yes.
So we'll see with that. But as long as those work, and the banking, that's the key thing, is that as long as the banking apps work,
nothing get to my money.
Yeah, give me my money.
My son's jumped straight into Dev Beta 1 on his main production phone.
He'll learn.
I was like, dude, I know you're young and you're excited by it. But dude, don't.
That's going to end in tears, my friend. That's gonna
Yeah,
end in
yes,
tears.
it is.
So meant to say, talking of news before we get into it, I see SpaceX have quietly tried to launch Starship again.
Well, it didn't
Wednesday,
end that quietly, did it?
yeah. So Wednesday this week, they performed a static test of Ship 36. My God, they've done 36 of these things.
Wow.
Which apparently was ahead of the 10th flight test, I think. If I was right. Anyway, it went kaboom.
It did go. Kaboom.
And they had a major anomaly event. I do love the
Oh, I love the old one. Was it an unscheduled deconstruction or something like disassembly or something like
That's
that
what,
one?
yeah, unscheduled disassembly. What you mean it broke up? No.
It blew up.
Apparently, though, the last test blew up spectacularly on the pad, and it occurred before the static test fire was supposed to start.
Yeah, so I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, not good. Apparently, it was still burning 2 hours later. The launch.
A lot of fuel. A lot of fuel in there.
But SpaceX said there were no hazards to those living in or around the recently incorporated town of Starbase. I love it.
Oh, yes, I forgot about that one. Yeah.
So I guess we won't be going to Mars this week.
No, not for a little while yet, and not even the moon.
No, God, no. Won't get to that. Maybe we should do a space. Yeah, we should do a space special. I've decided again. We did before. We should do another one.
We should do. Yeah.
Anyway, so this week it's been I wouldn't say a quiet week, but we've got a few stories in here. So it's
been a busy week.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Builder AI, which,
Yep.
quite frankly, if you have not know anything about this story, have not seen it, you will not believe the audacity of people. We'll talk about Meta and Apple. They're on the same side for once, which is words we never thought we'd say.
Ella's frozen over.
Xbox, the recent Xbox event, Microsoft have partnered with Asus. If that's Asus or Asus, I can remember.
Asus.
To deliver not one but 2 new handhelds. I'll let you talk more about that in just a minute. And well, I don't want to give anything away, but I have seen my next phone, by the way.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called the T1. Just hold those thoughts.
We'll hold fire on that one.
It is. So let's talk about Builder AI, because this is just a roller coaster of a story, isn't it?
Yeah. So those that don't know Builder AI, they were seen as an innovative AI startup, but basically it's a no-code development platform that uses AI to help you code solutions. Sounds great. It's collapsed into insolvency though, and during this process, that AI we mentioned, it was called Natasha, the AI assistant. Turns out she's not really AI. She's in fact 700 Indian developers manually building your code for you. Yeah. I mean, that must have been quite slow.
Well,
I've tried it to get AI to build me like a website, static pages, and it's fairly quick. Put your requirements in. 20 seconds later, it's built it for you. Are developers building that quickly?
Well, they must have been doing something, because you wouldn't have got it. You wouldn't have got it so quickly. But I knew a Builder AI. I heard of them. I hadn't used them.
Yeah.
I had heard of them. I did read in one of the I think it was on the Twitter post that somebody reporters did. It said that I quote, at the same time the application is written by AI in inverted commas constantly glitched, the code was unreadable, the functions did not work. In general, it looked like AI.
Well, yeah, I was going to say the same as well when I read that one. I was like, well, that sounds awfully like AI. But yeah, but they must have gone from scrutiny, I should say. They got 450 million
how
in
did that
backing
happen?
from companies including Microsoft. Now, Microsoft know a thing about developing and AI. You would have thought they spotted something, but apparently not enough to stop them giving them money. But yeah, so it all came to light when one of their creditors, Viola Credit, had to seize 37 million from them due to a default on a 50 million loan. And then that stopped them basically able to run the company, pay those 700 developers in India, and also additional funds were kind of frozen in India due to regulatory issues. So yeah, the house of cards all came tumbling down.
It's sort of like a Ponzi scheme, isn't it? You unravel one and all of it goes. And now they're in. It's now into formal insolvency, hasn't it, in the UK?
In the UK, yeah.
Yeah. And there was a LinkedIn statement of the company saying it acknowledged its early missteps and pushed it beyond recovery. Missteps, I think.
Outright lies?
Oh yeah, misrepresentation. I think is probably a better word. To be honest with
Yeah.
you, I just,
Yeah.
the question I've got here is how many more of these companies are out there?
Oh, I don't know. This won't be the last. Definitely not the last of doing portraying it as being AI and it isn't in fact AI.
I mean, this is the first though. Humans taking jobs from AI.
Well, this is true. We're getting our revenge now, are we?
Yeah, but I mean, there is there's been some fallouts, hasn't there? I mean, some from people who've kind of financial practices. There's been former founders and other companies who have been sort of linked to this, haven't they? Around it, saying that the business associations and that this is a bit of a long scam as well, and other
Oh,
financial
okay.
conducts. But I mean, I get the impression here that this probably wasn't a scam to start with. It was we want to build a company. We can't afford AI, but how can we do this? We'll get some funding, and I think it's probably just snowballed, hasn't it?
Yeah, or maybe it's
They've
all
lied
right.
outright.
We did have AI. Maybe it's not quite ready yet. So we'll pretend we're ready because we need to launch. We'll get developers to build it for us. While we get our AI up to speed, it just never really got there.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Did they hire the developers to work on the product and then realize they couldn't deliver the product? So the AI say start becoming it. Now, I did see a comment on I think on the Business Today article that we were linking to that said they never disclosed that AI stood for actual Indians, which I thought was like, that's probably quite true, actually, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, look, I think again, this is clearly a scam. Investors have lost out. People weren't
Yeah.
getting their code, and there's this whole thing about vibe coding now, isn't it? Where it's the right term, I think, isn't it? Where you go to
Yeah.
AI, you basically get it to build stuff, and or you use it to help develop the code. But
Yeah.
I don't think we're at a point yet where people have built companies off the back of it, because a lot of the there was one recently, I can't think of the name of it. There was a guy, wasn't he, who built this application, tried to sell it, and that basically it was full of holes because security had never
Yeah.
been thought about, hadn't it?
Factored in. No, exactly.
I do wonder.
I still think if you're going to use AI for coding, you've still got to be an actual developer. Otherwise, it's just on a wing and a prayer, isn't it? You're just hoping that
Well, yeah, it's gonna turn out right.
you're going to turn out right, but you wouldn't know if it didn't. As long as it
No,
does the function you think it's going to do, then yeah, I don't know. Not
I
there
just
yet.
no, and I think here this is a bit like the .com bubble. There's a lot of money floating around for AI at the moment, and
Yeah.
so this is a way in to get it. And clearly, whatever their initial business plan was or whatever their initial idea was, hasn't paid off at all. But yeah, I'm guessing 700 people are out of work now as well, which is not a good thing.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Well, we'll keep an eye on this story and see what comes next. I'm sure this isn't the last of Builder AI, what we've heard of the story, at least going forward. And given that they're in insolvency in the UK, I'm sure the press here will have picked up on it, especially the Financial Times, no doubt.
Yeah.
So we'll keep an eye on that, and we'll let you know the latest as that comes out. All right, then. So let's move on to our next story then, which is one that, again, words I never thought I'd say, that Meta wants to support Apple in the UK battle that it's having with the government over the use of end-to-end encryption, particularly around one of the functionalities which recently turned up, which is the advanced data protection feature, wasn't it?
Yeah. So exactly. So obviously, this came out a couple of months back, didn't it? The government gave Apple an order, a mandate, whatever you want to call it, about basically backdooring iCloud, allowing access to everyone's data. Well, Apple obviously said no, and they disabled advanced data protection, didn't they? Without warning the UK as a kind of canary to let everyone. Anyway, since everyone knows, so since then it's all kind of come out, hasn't it? It's going to court. And yeah, Meta is currently seeking the court's permission to provide evidence to support Apple. They went on to say that WhatsApp would challenge any law or government request that seeks to weaken the encryption of our services and will continue to stand up for people's rights to private conversation online. So yeah, look, I suppose if the government win, then WhatsApp would probably have to backdoor their encryption, and so it doesn't just affect the UK, does it?
No,
This
it's
affects
not.
worldwide and everyone involved. So there's a lot more to lose here than just us here in the UK.
And this has caused a bit of a, I want to say, a diplomatic issue, hasn't it? Because the
Yeah.
US are not happy about this, and
No.
as you say, given that it would affect US, US
Citizens.
vices citizens in the same way, it's a bit of an awkward one, really, isn't it?
It is.
Why is our government saying they should have access to everybody else's information?
Let's be honest. Our government is not the first government to have said this. It's probably the first to have been caught.
Possibly, but I think at least our legal system here has been quite good here because you know Apple, as we said, went to court and they to try and fight
Yeah.
this order. And the government's perspective was no, you can't have this in public. This is national security, so we've got to keep it quiet. But the court, the judge, has turned it down, and they said that actually no,
it's in the public's best interest to know what's going on.
Exactly, the public need to know.
Yeah.
And I think this is going to be interesting to hear how this actually goes.
I haven't seen a date for this yet. Do we have a date of when this is?
No, I don't think there is.
Meant to be taking place.
No. By the way, ADP is still on my phone.
Still on mine, and when I enrolled my new Mac the other day, ADP came on for that too.
Interesting.
So I'm not entirely. Maybe if you've never had it on your account and you're trying to turn it on, it won't work. But if you've already got it on your account, then as I said, they can't force it off yet. So it would require a software update to guide us through turning it off, I suppose, or pleading with us to turn it off.
Well, yeah. And I think here is, the key point here, as you say here, that is that WhatsApp or Meta are saying that, you're going to destroy, you're going to cause us problems as well. So we're not going to fight. We're not going to go this alone.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've seen on WhatsApp recently, I've had lots of pop-ups on WhatsApp saying, we can't see your data. In fact,
they've been reiterating that along with the adverts.
Yeah, in fact, just a new one
now
here.
injected in there.
Yeah, in the WhatsApp, like the WhatsApp official chat that you get.
Yeah.
Not even WhatsApp can see your personal messages. That includes text, voice, photos, video calls, and more. They're protected with end-to-end encryption because we're committed to your privacy. And this keeps going on. So I think they are hammering home the messaging that this is about privacy. This isn't about criminal activity. This isn't about CSAM elements. This is about pure and simple privacy that you should be entitled to as a human being. Not the 1984 scenario of let us read everything and see everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting. I don't know whether Apple are going to win.
I don't know. This is going to be a very, very interesting fight.
It will. I think, though, it'll depend on how big of a public issue the government wants to make this.
Yeah.
So that'll be the case. And I think given everything else that's going on, I wonder whether or not the government's got the appetite to pursue this at the minute.
Yeah, I would be surprised. But, maybe they just do it to spite their nose. Because they cut off the nose to spite their face, I should say.
That's the one. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. You never know. You never know. But I guess the more, depends if other companies decide to step up here,
Apple could just release, just for the UK, a special edition of iOS that removes iCloud, gives you the option to put your own one on there. Just as an FU to the government.
Who knows? But yes, it is definitely a possible,
Yeah.
Interesting.
We'll see.
Much to think about.
Yeah, we will report back more when more comes out.
So, give us something more positive to think about then.
Yeah, well, it's not quite what we were expecting. It's been alluded, and we did mention this before, that Microsoft was going to release an Xbox handheld. Okay, so this isn't quite that Xbox handheld, but they have collaborated with Asus to release 2 new Xbox-ish handhelds. They're called the Xbox Ally and the Xbox Ally X. They're very similar to Asus's current devices, the ROGs,
they've got a handheld.
Yeah, they've got current devices. They released kind of after the Steam Deck came out, but beefed up with new chips and stuff. So we've got the Ally, which is really optimized for 720p gaming. Although it does come with a 7-inch 1080p screen with 120 Hz refresh, the same as the Ally X. You've got a Ryzen Z2A, you've got 16 gig of RAM, 512 storage, 60 watt battery. if you plump for the Ally X, it's aimed at full 1080p, same screen, an AI Z2 Extreme chip, up bumped to 24 gig of RAM, a terabyte of storage, 8-watt battery. Interestingly, that one comes with Thunderbolt 4 though, so you could plug it into an external GPU if you wanted a bit more grunt. But from the event, I don't think that was the big news. They're great and they do look good. Great to have Microsoft's engineering there to make it more ergonomic than some of the current handhelds. But the big news to me was the new Xbox interface or mode. I don't really want to. I want to. Let's call it mode because basically this is a new mode of Windows because they all run Windows. They don't run the Xbox OS, but it's a cut down mode. You can directly boot into an Xbox store kind of interface like you would do with the current Xbox. But it cuts off, it disables a load of services you don't need when it's in gaming mode. It optimizes stuff. It increases battery, decreases battery drain, I should say. Basically, it's been really optimized. The Xbox team have worked with the Windows team to make this mode super optimized just for playing games and getting everything else out of the way. It also, blow your mind here, supports multiple storefronts from one interface. So it won't just be limited to Game Pass games or Xbox games. Apparently, you'll be able to get your Steam games in there, Battle.net games, or whatever storefronts. I presume it's going to be an open API maybe it taps into. But it will be able to support, hopefully, your entire game library.
That's quite compelling, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's not just for these handhelds. Microsoft have said it's going to come to other handhelds, and I suspect it's going to be built into Windows.
So will we see that then on the Xboxes? Sorry, maybe I misunderstood.
No, I don't know. So Microsoft, they had another announcement from the head of Xbox. I can't remember her name, Sarah something, the other day. Kind of announcing new Xboxes, but not announcing new Xboxes. Really, she was just announcing a kind of collaboration with AMD on the next generation of chips to power Xbox-like devices for Xbox Anywhere.
Okay.
So what I have a feeling Microsoft is going that there won't really be dedicated Xboxes anymore. There'll be Xbox-like form factors that are Windows PCs that have an Xbox mode.
Isn't that do you remember the Steam? Remember the Steam?
The original version of the Steam consoles was, I can't remember what they called them.
Yeah, but where they
wasn't Dex, was it? It was Alienware did one, didn't they?
Yeah, I was going to say they had a form factor, didn't they? But
Steam console, a living room friendly form factor, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So I suspect that AMD, like with the Steam Deck and the Zeus and all the other handhelds, will be using an AMD chip mostly, and this will be a special, beefed up one aimed directly at these kind of devices. But as I said, I suspect they'll actually be running real Windows just in Xbox mode. So if you want to then switch back to real Windows to do some work, you could do.
Interesting. I'm slightly surprised Microsoft got down to it, but because we were talking a year or so ago about the potential for a handheld, wasn't it? And that was dropped by what's his name? The Xbox lead. I can't remember the guy's name now.
Phil Spencer.
Yeah, do you remember he like on his back? Do you remember he had like that?
He had the Chromecast device in the background, didn't he? Yeah. Plug and stick.
But I guess you're right. Perhaps they've realised that it's probably more cost effective in the long run to get other people to make them.
Well, yeah, exactly. If you have got this super duper Xbox mode, and you turn any sufficiently beefy PC into an Xbox, how that works with traditional Xbox games, though, I don't know. Obviously, they're all x86 hardware anyway, aren't they? The PlayStation 5 is, the Xbox is. They're all just running custom AMD hardware, which isn't that different from current AMD hardware. They're just a kind of hodgepodge of different generations. So technically, with a quick translation layer, I don't think there'd be anything stopping you running a traditional Xbox One or Series X game on your PC.
I guess not, no. I think this. You're right. I think this could be the sign of things to come. And those devices are pretty good looking. I have to say. I looked at one the other day.
That's what Microsoft been aiming at. They've been using the slogan Xbox Anywhere now, haven't they, for a good year or so?
And that Ally X or Ally X, whatever.
It does look nice.
24 gig of RAM and a terabyte storage. That's a pretty meaty machine there.
It is. Look, I love my Steam Deck. I take it when I travel, stuff like that. It's great to play games. Yep. I do. I take it away but I'd like to be able to access my Game Pass. I'd really want to be able to access all my Windows games.
Yeah,
Well, it does run Windows games as such, but it's only via the Steam store. I've got a wealth of games I've bought on the Xbox store I'd like to be able to tap into.
yeah. I think you're right. I think it would be nice to have it, and I know you can't. I mean, without going down a rabbit hole, there are ways, aren't there, around that of being able to.
Yeah, but then you've got games that use their own launchers that cause issues, or ones that have got DRM that don't work on
That's it.
Proton, which is the underlying compatibility layer, kind of translation layer. To not have to worry about a compatibility issue other than, is the handheld powerful enough to play what I want, the settings I want to play, but not that, will it even launch?
Yeah. And I mean, what was the price of these? Or did they not publish them? I can't remember.
They didn't put a price, I don't think.
That's what I said. I thought I hadn't seen a price, but that's what
I suspect you'll be around, I reckon, $700-800 for the big one, and maybe down at $500 for the smaller one.
I mean, I've been toying with a Steam Deck, and
you have for many, many years,
and I can't decide. I can't find a use case for me, as in when would I use it enough.
Yeah.
But you're right. If it gave me the best of both worlds, maybe that might be worth it. Maybe that would tempt me to do it.
Yeah, exactly. I have a docker. I have a mini docker carry around with me anyway because I use it for plugging the iPad into the TV when I'm in the hotel and stuff. Charge at the same time, that kind of thing. But I can also plug the Steam Deck into it now, and I can then just take an Xbox controller with me and play it on the big TV. So that's great. But if I could play all my games, it'd be even better.
It would be very cool, wouldn't it? Very cool.
I have to buy some more storage though for on the road.
Yeah, but Horizon. Sometimes you just want to switch off and 20 minutes on Horizon, which isn't going to make.
That's it. I rebought again. That was the other problem. Buying games again, so they work on the Steam Deck. So I bought Horizon 4 because it was on sale for like a tenner, but I haven't got around to buying Horizon 5 for the second time. It's like Grand Theft Auto all again. I don't want to have to buy my games multiple times just because I have different form factors.
Yeah, that's
This could solve that issue.
Oh, don't want to go down that rabbit hole again. It's going to be bad enough next year when GTA 6 comes out, isn't it? So.
We're going to buy that at least twice because that's not going to come out on the PC straight away. So we'll end up buying it on the Xbox and playing it there, and then we'll end up buying it on the PC when it comes out on PC.
Oh dear. But no, look, I think this is really interesting and a very cool development in Xbox and gaming, particularly handheld gaming, which I don't think is, apart from the Switch, hasn't really taken off, has it, massively? This, Nintendo, I would argue, own the handheld gaming market.
Yep, massively.
And the Switch 2 has just kind of put a cement on that.
They've annoyed a lot of people, though, the price of those games.
It has, but you know what? People are going to buy it.
But did you see in the news that Nintendo have gone after a load of people and been bricking consoles left, right, and centre?
That would backfire on them.
Because they've been using their, I can't remember what it's called. It's some device that allows you to back up your current games to an SD card. When you've got the hardware version of the games. And you can use it to play it on the Switch 2 as well as the Switch 1. Now, yes, there are piracy elements to that, but the people that have been banned, quite a lot of them, have swore blind that they're using their own games. But yeah, Nintendo are bricking, not necessarily bricking the consoles, but bricking the ability to connect to online services. Which means you can play stuff locally unless you reset your Switch, and then you can't. Then you've effectively bricked it because you can't connect it online to activate it.
Yeah, that's going to. That's not going to bode.
It might be a step too far.
Yeah, they might need to roll that one back, I feel.
Yeah. I can't get around the argument that you don't own the software. No, I think it's a terrible argument, but I can get my head around it. The fact that Nintendo can just remotely brick your device because you're doing something on your device you've paid £500 for because they don't like it is a different story.
Isn't that Steam's view as well, isn't it, that you're just renting the software?
Steam, yeah. And so look, I can get my head around the software part. It's bricking the hardware I can't.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
If I've bought a bit of hardware, I can do what I want with it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's mine. I physically bought it. It's in my hand. It's a physical piece of hardware.
Yeah, but well,
Yeah.
Nintendo say differently, my friend.
Well, I'm afraid so. This is why we're not buying the Switch 2.
No, no. Right then, talking. So that money you've saved by not buying the Switch 2, I've got
Yeah.
a new phone for you.
Ooh. Go. Do tell.
So it's called the T1,
Right.
and it comes in gold.
Bling bling gold.
It's let me tell you. Let me tell you. It is sleek gold smartphone engineered for performance and proudly designed and built in the United States. You can pre-order now for $100 deposit, and it's going to be available either from August or September 25.
Okay. Okay. And it's how much, sorry?
$499. Oh, and it comes with a 47 plan for $45 a month.
Okay. Okay. I feel there's a catch here.
It's a Trump phone.
It's a Trump phone.
Trump mobile.
Trump Mobile, yes. This is Trump Mobile, their new network. Well, it's not a network, is it? It's a
Yeah, MVNO.
MVN, yeah, running on T-Mobile. So it's a virtual network on top of
Oh God.
T-Mobile. Yeah, the 47 plan priced at 47.45, and that's something to do with is he the 45th and the 47th president of the.
Yes, I would argue there's got to be a tie in there to that.
There's a time there. Unlimited calls, text, and data. Yeah, the phone, 6.78 inch, 120 hertz OLED, 12 gig RAM, 2 faucet storage, expandable storage, 5,000 milliamp battery, running Android 15.
But the press release was full of errors apparently because it said that it
Was
had
it?
RAM that was described as storage, processors that don't have a processor listed. It had a 5,000 milliamp long life camera.
Oh, really? Oh, I got the corrected summary clearly then.
Yeah, I mean, the phone itself, it wasn't no chips that were listed apparently according to The Verge, but it's 12 gig of RAM, 256 storage,
It'll be
runs
a
Android.
Qualcomm.
Yeah,
Or a MediaTek.
well, I mean, it's not American, is it? It's not
No,
American.
no, this is it. So what does? Well, it's $499, and I don't think they're going to deliver $499. Certainly not made in America. So what does made in America mean here?
Well, engineered
Trump's
performance and proudly designed. So it's a bit like Apple. Apple says on the back.
Oh, it's designed, not made in
No,
America.
well, it does. It says built in America, design. So, but you could argue that Apple designed their stuff in Cupertino, but it's built somewhere else. So it's the same kind of thing.
Yeah, well, Trump's been going on that every part of that needs to be built or made or manufactured in America, chips, RAM, everything. So I'm expecting his $499 phone to do the same. I know for a fact it will not, in a million years, be made in America.
No, and apparently, so they're the new MVNO, which, as we said, is powered by Liberty Mobile, which is
Runs on T-Mobile, yeah.
Another T-Mobile one. But did you notice that Mint, Metro, US Mobile are all cheaper than Trump's plan for the same or
probably? He'll be scamming people, definitely.
Yeah, of course it is. So it's according to Eric Trump. Trump Mobile is going to revolutionize cell phones and mobile calling, said the grandpa in the background who just put down his ear trumpet. I mean, this is not new, Donald. This is not new, is it?
No, it's not. It's not going to either hit that price point and it'll be made in America, but not hit that price point. It's not going to be made in America because they can't design and build the chips in America. Not by August and September. There is, I think, I saw one. I don't have the details. There is one company in America that makes and builds the phone in America. I'm not sure about the chips part of that part, but they have two prices for it. Okay, so there's I think $799 if you have it built in China, $2,000 if you have it built in America. It's the same phone, and you can buy that now. So he's not even the first made in America like he's claiming to be.
No, it's just ridiculous.
It's the crap. Look, and what about the other things like regulatory oversight and stuff like that? So he's now building his own mobile network owned by the Trump family. So is he going to pay any attention to what the FCC say?
Well, don't forget how will the FCC work? Because the bloke runs the FCC works for Donald Trump.
And this is what I mean.
Donald Trump is owning it's just
conflict of interest is through the roof here.
Conflict of interest. I mean, it's just my God. I don't think there's any conflict. There's just pure on him.
It's just his interest, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just ridiculous, isn't it? Really, when you think about it, my brain hurts again from just thinking about why this would be a good idea.
But you know what? There will be loads and loads of people in America who have paid that $100 deposit, and they'll
Of course
either not get what they bought or not get anything.
because this is like the Trump coin. It's a pump. I mean, it was a pump and dump, wasn't it?
Yep, exactly.
And that's still they haven't quite dumped it yet, but it's still pumping it. And
Mm.
let's be honest, there's no ethics with this man, and I don't want to go into that, but there is no ethics with this man at all.
No.
And it just, and let's be honest, he isn't going to give up his iPhone, is he?
Of course he's not. He's not moving to Android. It's not even the latest Android. It's Android 15.
Yeah.
Are we on 16 now?
I think it has been released, yes, but
Yeah.
Oh, look, on that point, I think it's probably a good place for us to wrap up for today before one of us explodes in this heat. So we'll be back next week for episode 212, where we'll have all the latest tech news and stories. And of course, wherever you get your podcast from, please tell your friends about us. We're on all the major networks, including YouTube and Blue Sky as well, where we post all our show notes and links to all the episodes. So I've been Jay.
I've been Karl. Have a good one all.